Yo! What's good, everybody? FTC flight team, stand up. I investigated if George Bush did 9/11 as requested by one of you guys. Let's check it out.
9/11 is the biggest lie of our lifetime.
Did George Bush do 9/11?
Ooh, good question, Tyler.
Oh. What? I don't know about that one.
Actually, the
Wait, is he asking this in Washington?
Is that the president?
I don't think so.
Oh my God. Get him out the country.
That's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous?
It is.
Why is it?
I gotta go.
Oh, I gotta go. You know when they say I gotta
Do you think it's
go.
possible George Bush did 9/11?
Wait for me right now.
Yo, why is he getting this mad? It's just a question.
I'm no conspiracy theorist, but hear me out. George Bush.
I don't know, man. You making this type of video, you know the haters are gonna say you're a theorist, conspiracy theorist, regardless of what you say, Tyler.
9/11. On the day before 9/11, the Secretary of Defense, David Rumsfeld, reported that the Pentagon somehow lost $2.3 trillion. How did they make the public forget?
Wait, what?
Reported that on the day before 9/11, the Secretary of Defense, David Rumsfeld, reported that the Pentagon somehow lost $2.3 trillion. How did they make the public forget about this missing money? See this plane?
Yo, nah. This guy's trying to be funny, man.
9/11. But who am I kidding? The government can print money. Who cares? So, in addition to the
Facts.
$2.3 trillion missing dollars, many believe that the Twin Towers and Building 7 were the result of a controlled demolition.
I cannot confirm or deny. Appreciate the follow.
Not the impact of a plane. Let's say George Bush was evil enough to pull this all off. Why? Many believe that Building 7 was a secret headquarters
Bro, what is he wearing?
for the entire plan related to 9/11. Seem a bit far-fetched? Maybe. I know nothing. But what if I talked to a first responder on 9/11 who was the New York Fire Commissioner? Let me introduce Chris Joya. Chris, who are you?
I'm an ex-chief in the Franklin Square and Munson Fire Department.
For a variety of reasons.
Bravery. This takes bravery, chat. Not many people have the balls to do this.
About to explain, you believe it may have been a false flag?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And what is a false flag?
False flag operation is an operation that is conducted by a government and to make it seem that some group or entities committed some acts which
Yo! What the hell? Oh my God. I got a raid.
require the government to attack a country. Thomas Hetzel was a member of this department.
Right there.
Yes, and he was killed in the towers. We lost a lot of friends.
Yeah. You were on site that day.
I was working.
I mean, maybe Aiden Ross will gift you someday. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and wait just for Aiden Ross. Anybody can do it, man.
Across the river doing my construction job, and then the fire department got called to duty to assist. Within a couple of days, we wound up down at ground zero. That's me, almost 20 years ago. This is what I saw, and then there's this
Damn.
tower coming down.
How did you come to the conclusion that 9/11 was a false flag?
For the first 10 years, I did not think anything other than the official narrative. Then,
did y'all know there's documentaries literally proving why? All I'm gonna say is buildings falling, strange behavior. You know, I can't speak too much, man. You know, like, come on, man. Like, we gotta stay informed, have an open mind. You know, like they want us to pick a side nowadays, but we're here to react to the video, man. Some of you requested to watch this.
after being shown a close-up video of building number 7 coming down, and that got me going because it's obvious to me that building 7
Yep, you too, man. You too.
was a controlled demolition because the building
Controlled demolition.
collapses from the bottom down.
Can you basically
Damn.
your experience
That's tough.
firefighting and construction for us?
Okay, I've been involved with heavy construction for over 30 years, been involved with the constructions of high-rise steel frame buildings in Manhattan. I've worked on bridges, and I know what goes into these buildings. I know what fire loads that they can handle, how fire is going to act. The trade centers were unique in that they were designed to withstand the impact of a jet. From what I understand, the outer skeleton of the building, the outer columns was like a fishnet, and you had these inner core columns, which was substantial, thick steel beams to withstand 4 or 5 times what the loads were. The engineers always over-design a building. No steel frame building has ever collapsed before or since 9/11.
Crazy question.
So that should say something right there. And it said that Building 7, it was a progressive collapse, that it was caused by fire. But progressive collapse, unlike the Twin Towers collapse from the top down. That's a progressive collapse.
Ooh.
Sure.
Floor by floor by floor. But if you look at the videos of Building 7 collapsing, it collapses uniformly. It's collapsing from the bottom. The building stays intact all the way to the bottom of the ground, and you could see the sides caving in on it. For a building to collapse uniformly, which the videos show, all the load-bearing columns would have had to have failed simultaneously. Now, fire doesn't act like that. I came across an analogy of the Twin Towers, and if you could visualize cast iron stoves stacked one on top of each other. The stoves up at the top, yes, there's fire and they've been damaged, but the stoves on the bottom, they haven't been damaged.
Okay.
So the structure underneath all of that is intact. So it's impossible for a building to collapse near free fall speed and increase
without a controlled demolition.
You're running into the path of most resistance. So something else is going on. I don't believe that it was just the planes or the fires. I think that, and they examined the dust and they found what they call thermitic material, which is like an explosive incendiary.
Wow.
In the dust samples, and that's documented. There were reports of the buildings were undergoing an extensive elevator renovation.
Whoa.
I do know about this. Why would you have a company come out and do some work weeks, days before a tragic event?
In the 2 or 3 years prior to, all kinds of workers, they had access to the cores of the building. And on the day of the attack, the elevator company would not assist in the operations of the elevators. And the elevator company it subsequently went out of business. And a couple of years after that, the information is out there. At one time when I was heavily engaged in trying to get a new investigation, I definitely felt threatened. I felt threatened from my family, and it wasn't a pleasant experience. You have sworn testimonies from firefighters regarding explosions in the building. They were suppressed. Just somebody making a statement, especially from firemen and police, if they make a statement, I heard an explosion, that's grounds to initiate an investigation.
Yeah, there is actual videos, chat. For those that don't know about this information, there's actual videos of firefighters saying they heard explosives. And the reports are there has been no investigations following that.
The firefighters, a bomb went off. This is their own words, made that day. They just ignored it. Just like Building 7 was ignored in the 9/11 Commission report. It's not in there, like it never happened.
You think the firemen knew something was up?
New York City Fire Department knows exactly what happened, and they've been told, not to comment on it. They know. These are my brothers.
It's your family.
These are the guys I went to fight fires with. These are the guys I grew up with. They don't see how, when you lose my friend Mike Kiefer, he was the only son. He was going to get married. He had his whole life ahead of him. His parents were devastated. So you have all this, collateral damage on top.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like they don't want to believe it. So it's like, why would they pursue that investigation? But all truths must be contested until they're actual truth.
That people don't see that. And it just infuriates me that something like this could take place. These people that did it don't even care about that. You killed some of the best people in this country. You murdered them.
They were collateral damage in the government's plot to have an excuse to start a war. What do you think Al-Qaeda's role in all of this was?
I think Al-Qaeda is made up. The FBI came out.
I have an opinion on this, but I don't want to say much unless you guys want me to. But we're reacting to the video, chat. open-minded here.
I believe it was 2006, and actually said, this is verifiable, I had no concrete evidence linking Osama bin Laden with 9/11. Osama
I haven't heard this.
bin Laden worked for the Central Intelligence Agency in Afghanistan. He helped us fight the Russians when they were in Afghanistan.
Okay.
He was a CIA operative. The CIA helped orchestrate 9/11. It was their plan. George Bush's father was having lunch with Osama bin Laden's brother or cousin that day or the day before 9/11. So there's some business dealings going on that they don't even talk about. Another fact that can be verified. After 9/11, they shut down air traffic for a few days. No planes were allowed to fly.
Oh, okay. I want to hear what he says after this.
The only plane that was allowed to fly was bin Laden's family. They
Huh?
put them on government jets and flew them out of the country. They let them go. They set up bin Laden to take the fall for this.
Why would the government want 9/11 to happen?
Well, first and foremost, we were going to exert our influence over the whole world.
American and coalition forces are in the early stages of military operations to disarm Iraq, to free its people, and to defend the world from grave danger.
Iraq and Libya, they're sitting on oil reserves. So we went into Iraq. We took their resources. There's tremendous money at stake here. This is all about the money.
Yeah, this guy's making some interesting points.
So, what role do you think George Bush had to do with this
Okay.
event, if at all?
I think George Bush went along for the ride. I think the real perpetrator, the real culprit behind it is the former Vice President, Dick Cheney. Dick Cheney, I would call Darth Vader. Dick Cheney was in charge of everything. He took control of the military prior to and on that day, and he choreographed. The Pentagon, just so you viewers know, is the most heavily defended building in the world. The pilot who allegedly was piloting the plane that crashed into the Pentagon, his name was Hani Hanjour, and he, according to the 9/11 Commission, was the worst pilot out of the bunch. Now, they supposedly were training on Cessnas, so he went to this flight school, and he was such a poor pilot that the instructors wouldn't even certify him on flying a single-engine propeller plane. Yet, he is supposed to have taken this commercial jetliner and done some aerobatic maneuvers to bring it in almost ground level and go into the side of the Pentagon. So, at the time, it had an active surface-to-air missile defense, so they could shoot down incoming planes. There are more security cameras around the Pentagon, even back then. The FBI confiscated between 80 to 90 videos they have of what hit the Pentagon.
Yeah, why aren't they releasing the video footage?
They won't release it. Like I said, the more you investigate, the more you don't want to look at it. 9/11 is the biggest lie of our lifetime.
I don't know, man. Some would argue other things have topped it since. Something that happened in 2020. Some chatters are saying right now.
A lot of questions we need answers. How is this possible? And what footage of this remains? Probably a lot, right? They probably got cameras everywhere. This video is all that's really out there.
This guy.
Hell no, man. What the man?
It's just this. But why? Do they not have cameras on the Pentagon? Let's go find out.
Oh, this guy's always drinking something, huh? Tyler,
Keep in
man.
mind that the Pentagon is one of the most heavily guarded buildings in the United States, if not the most. You're now entering the Pentagon Reservation. Let's go. So, looks like we made it to the Pentagon. Take a look.
Ooh, I like that sound.
This is where Flight 77 hit the Pentagon wall. Let's go. Do you guys know which side the plane hit, actually?
Yeah, this is the side the plane hit on. You can see already from here where it's lighter colored in the center.
Okay.
That's the section they repaired.
Oh, is there like security cameras all over the wall right there?
There are, and that's what you're seeing up there at the top.
Got it.
And you actually, if they catch you taking a picture, they will come out and confiscate.
Oh, really?
You cannot take pictures of the Pentagon. You can take pictures of
Are we going to take video?
Not of the Pentagon.
Got it.
He's gonna lose your phone because if he doesn't put it down.
Oh, I see. So, yeah, is the videography different?
It's a camera. You're
I
taking a
see.
picture of the
Take
Pentagon. If
pictures.
you take a picture of that,
I see. So people don't take photos in front of the Pentagon?
You can go over to the memorial.
take-
Got it. Well, I appreciate you looking out. Yeah, we'll go over there then.
I'm
Yeah.
just telling you.
I talked to the lady. She basically said there's security cameras everywhere. Even if you look at those poles right there, you'll start to notice that those are pointing towards the walls. There's cameras over there, cameras over there, cameras over there, cameras over there, cameras everywhere. Point being, if the plane were to hit that wall, it makes sense that it would be captured on video. And how is the pilot able to perform that maneuver? Also doesn't make a ton of sense unless it was pure fluke accident. And secondly, how in the hell does a passenger plane get even this close to this building? The security on here must be insanity. How is that possible? So just consider how low the plane had to fly and what maneuver it had to perform to hit the plane wall. There are a few frames in a sort of still framey video right here, but not a single video showing this full event occurring with context. So on this memorial, it says, on September 11, 2001, acts of terrorism took the lives of thousands at the World Trade Center in New York City and a grassy field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, and here at the Pentagon. Now, while most people know about Flight 11 that hit the north...
Okay. What the hell, man?
Grassy field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, and here at the Pentagon.
What the hell is all this? What the hell is all this Red Bulls, Tyler?
Now, while most people know about Flight 11 that hit the North Tower, Flight 175 that hit the South Tower, most people forget about Flight 93 that crashed in the middle of nowhere, Shanksville, Pennsylvania. At least that's the official story. The two basic theories here on Flight 93 are that either A, the passengers took control of the plane and heroically crashed it, or B, the passengers fought back, causing the hijackers to have to crash it in the forest. But if you Google it, you'll find kind of inconclusive answers. Now keep in mind, as Flight 93 is being hijacked, Dick Cheney has already sent out the order to shoot down any non-responsive, threatening-looking planes. So, two F-16 fighter pilots are looking for...
It was?
Flight 93.
Why is your name Kendrick Lamar? Are you the real Kendrick?
6 eyewitnesses say that they saw a white jet flying low, basically hovering above the crash site, presumably an Air Force plane that shot down Flight 93 to protect anyone in Washington. The main body of the engine was found miles away from the crash site, comparable to what you'd see a heat-seeking missile do to an airliner. Conspiracy 3 states that the F-16 pilot actually did shoot Flight 93 with 2 missiles taking the plane down. A lot of conspiracies, but the question is, did anyone in Shanksville, Pennsylvania see anything? Let's go find out. Look at this. Farm County out here. Made it to Shanksville, a friendly little town, home of the Vikings. Let's go see what
Honestly, you should do a part 2, Tyler. Part 2.
these people have to say. Hey there, you know about Flight 93? Yes. Do you know anyone who's seen it? Like when it crashed by chance? Yeah? You think they'd be interested in like a minute of talking about it? Okay.
The new fire chief lives in that brown house right there. I'd say he talked with you.
Question for you. Are you the fire chief?
So,
We were wondering if we had talked to anyone who may have seen it or knew anything about it.
Well, I was in high school
Okay.
and I lived in Maryland. You might be able to find someone maybe at the store.
And after talking to a few trucks near the town market, a man who looked mysteriously similar to Sam Hyde approached me with information.
Were you around at the time?
yeah, I was around.
Yeah. Did you see like first response go out?
A lot of activity. Just FBI, Secret Service,
Yeah?
things like that coming in, setting up barriers around the area up there and so forth.
Some speculate a fighter jet may have shot it beforehand.
I believe that myself.
Yeah.
That's my own personal belief. I grew up on part of the property that is now Flight 93 Memorial. My dad and my uncle were 2 of the people that had seen jets
Okay.
fly past. Several of the fire department members that had been on scene, and they said it was beyond what they would ever expected. An accident scene, I guess. You know, you got body parts and clothes and briefcases, and would have flew 3 more seconds. It could have took out Shanksville School.
You're right.
It could have took out, who knows.
Did Al-Qaeda take the plane down or did the passengers take the plane down?
I think the passengers took the
Okay.
plane down. There's conspiracy theorists that think that the second plane is actually shot down before it
Okay.
hit anything, but they wouldn't admit to that because that's killing everybody.
Sure. You believe that?
I don't know.
All right, let's take a look at the memorial. It's important to respect that real people out there lost their loved ones, regardless of how it happened or who did it. The main questions conspiracy theorists have is, where did the evidence of the plane existing even go? How could the explosion of the plane have been so big that it left behind such little evidence? Would the government have had reason
Good ass question. Yeah, it has to be it. And they haven't answered it.
to shoot down Flight 93 if it ever presented a legitimate threat to hit the Capitol? Why would they jeopardize the plane hitting the Capitol? It is not insane to think that George Bush, as an example, would use 9/11 as a false flag to initiate war in Afghanistan, and then eventually Iraq. And ironically, guess where the Bush family's money comes from? Oil. Guess what they found in Afghanistan? Oil. Guess what they found in Iraq? Oil.
Not funny at all.
My question is, though, if we as a society fail to ask any questions and blindly believe everything, then we will question nothing, which allows the government to do whatever they want, which is a problem. These 9/11 conspiracies are interesting. I have no clue if any of it is true. Who knows what actually happened?
Also, whoever has the most viewed TikTok